Twitch page, it looks like the video cut out.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Stream's gone. Oh, it's back. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, great. It's going to be one of those nights. It is absolutely going to be one of those. Are you sure we're live now? Like, are we actually good?
Yeah, I've got the stream up. We're good.
Okay. All right. God, I love living in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, so a friend of mine who's a woman was assaulted at a conference. And she filed a formal complaint, obviously. And when it's Jeff is very quiet. I'll turn the podcast lights up a little bit. When she reported it, she was told that this guy was socially awkward. Oh, he's socially awkward. Are you fucking joking me? And so I tweeted about it earlier this week, and it went viral for some weird reason. I have the weirdest shit go viral. And I got a few dudes in there. Who said, oh, well, the answer is never to meet, because I made a tweet and said, look, like, I had to basically run security for a friend a couple of years ago at PAX East 2020, if you guys remember that. I was basically at her side the entire conference because of a violent stalker. And I had to sit there and watch her just like go through this mentally, right? And to see dudes in my mentions talking about, oh, you'll just go to jail if you assault, because I said if I see this shit, like you're going through a table. Like I'm gonna throw you through a first story window. I want to specify first story. You're getting fucked up if I see this shit. I don't care where you are. I don't care I don't care about the politics of anyone involved. Like we can't do this. And I had a bunch of dudes saying, "Oh, well, violence is never the answer." Well, at some point, it has to be. Because the reason that dudes do this is because nobody's kicked their ass about it. I fervently believe that, and I'm tired of seeing women, not just women that I care about, but just women in general, get harassed and bullied and stalked and assaulted at these conferences, and then it gets fobbed off on, oh, well, he's socially awkward. He's socially awkward. Like that right there, that sums up the entirety of just what we're dealing with here. And it's maddening, because women in this industry who are especially like women at conferences, like I remember, I think it was like 2019 at PAX West. There was some guy who had a beef with a few women on various panels. He was going around walking into, the auditoriums where the panels were being held, and he was live streaming these women, like telling people where they were. Like this doesn't happen to men. It just doesn't. Like you could sit here and try to convince me all day that, but it just doesn't. Men don't do this to men. Women don't do this to men. Men do this to women, and women don't do it to women either. Men do it to women. And at this point, if I was a woman in this industry, I wouldn't feel fucking safe at any of these conferences or conferences, at any of these conventions. How could you? I mean, when you're physically assaulted and then threatened with further violence, and you're told that the individual is socially awkward. I mean, what the fuck even is that? And so it's emblematic of just how unseriously the entire industry takes this problem. And at some point, somebody's going to get hurt. Like in my opinion, guys, it's a fucking miracle that it hasn't happened yet. I mean, and to be fair, like it has happened, right? Like we've heard about people like, like Andrian, that motherfucker who raped a woman. Like it absolutely does happen. but I guarantee you it happens a lot more frequently than we're even aware of. It's just that, women quite, and I can't blame them. Women are reluctant to step up and report this shit, right? And I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I would not feel safe at a convention if I was a woman in this industry. I just wouldn't. And so um this friend of mine is, trying to figure out what she's going to do next. Like, she doesn't feel safe at conventions anymore, and I don't fucking blame her. Um, but I guarantee fucking to you, I'll be at PAX East next year, and if I see this shit, if I am within earshot or eye shot of this shit, I'm gonna I'm gonna put a boot right in the middle of your fucking chest.
Can you give me a small recap of what we're talking about?
Yeah, so a friend of mine, who is also like a prominent industry figure, earlier this week, she's a woman. She was physically assaulted at a convention. And she reported it and was told that the guy was socially awkward. Um, he's just socially awkward.
Where was this at?
I'll tell you offline. I don't want to like,
Okay.
but like,
You know what's okay, so I kind of had a similar experience at PAX West. I was cosplaying a white mage and it was a skirt. And I had those little like fold up chairs so like when the line moved I could just take my little, it was like a small little stool about this and it folded up and I was sitting on it and somebody complained to one of the enforcers about me and basically like so the enforcer came up and was like, "Yeah, this is a family friendly event. You can't wear this." And I was like, "What do you mean?" Like I had like tights on underneath and spandex shorts and I was like, "I'm they can't even see anything. Like, what do you mean?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's a family friendly event. You have to go home
what the fuck?
or you have to go." And I was like, "What the fuck, man?" And, like, it was just I'll find pictures, but it was just fucking ridiculous, and
Well,
it killed my mood. Like, it's such a mood killer when, like, the community that you're in goes against you
well,
or says things that don't help you.
and Britt, like the point I was making before you got here is, like, look, like, because I had a bunch of dudes in my mentions because I tweeted about this earlier this week, and it got
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah, I read them, and they were like, "Oh, look at you,
look.
just white knighting."
Well, yeah, there were two of them. There was one. It's like, oh, check out the white knight over here. She's not gonna fuck you, bro. And it's like, yeah,
Okay, so the
like
fact that that's where
what?
their mind immediately
Yeah, like
goes, you can tell those are the people that you need to fucking watch out
that's
for at
that
conventions.
because they feel targeted by what I said.
Yep.
And if you feel targeted by what I said, like no, like none of my friends, none of my male friends were in there like, oh, John's out here fucking white knighting again, because they wouldn't do this shit. It's not in their heart to do that. But
No.
if you've got a problem with what the fuck I said, like, one, you're welcome to approach me at any convention and bring it up with me. I'm sure we can have a discussion about it. And two, just like Britt said, you are exactly the kind of fucking person that needs to be, that we're talking about here. You're the problem. Because, Britt, I said it before you came on. Women don't do this to women. Women don't do this to men. Men don't do this to men.
Like,
Men do
it
this
can
to women.
happen. It can happen, but it's like, yeah, it's
But it's
like
like once in a blue,
99%
yeah.
men. Yeah.
And
Like, I don't wanna say, like, women never do it because, like, I think it's important to like, highlight cases where women do it,
but like, I
just to
can't
kinda
even think of like an
support
instance in
victims.
which I've ever heard of it.
I mean, I can't either, but I don't want a blanket statement say, like, women don't do shit, you know?
But yeah, like, and I had a few other people say, well, violence isn't the answer. And I'm like, if a woman I care about or any woman in general is getting physically assaulted in front of me, dude, yeah, violence is absolutely the fucking answer. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I mean, yeah, sorry. Well, so I know we've got other things to talk about tonight, and we're gonna go ahead and move into that. But I've been kind of stewing on this all week because I'm really pissed off about it. And I just kind of had to, I don't know, just comment on the absolute fucking state of,
Marginalized folks and women and people of color are, like, the 3, like, biggest targets of, like, that
yeah,
kinda shit in this industry,
yeah,
and it's a fucking bummer, right? Like well, it was just, like, what happened over the summer with, was it IGN that had, like, panel all of white dudes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I
And
mean, like it's 2023. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, Britt,
Let's-
I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall a few incidents where you felt uncomfortable at the Final Fantasy 16 launch party. Like,
No, I felt Oh, I felt uncomfortable at the hotel.
okay, that's what it was. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it because I
Yeah.
don't want people to.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
But like,
But I also like on the street in LA, like people were just looking at my tits straight on. Like they made
oh,
no beans about
people
it.
were leering at you.
I know. I know. If we were playing a drinking game, we would have been drunk in like 2 steps.
Like
it was stupid.
I remember there was this one group of dudes walking by, and they're like, they might as well have done the thing where their head turns into a cartoon wolf's head, and their tongue rolls out, and their eyes go blue. Like,
y'all can do better.
Yeah, we can, or can we? I don't know. Some of us can. I firmly believe some of us can't. But anyway, we will move on to more positive topics now. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Do a little white knighting, as the people who hate me say. But we will go ahead.
Maybe she'll fuck you now, John.
Maybe she will. Who knows? Maybe maybe my wife will finally have sex with me. Who knows? But for the first time ever, it's been a long 12 years. But we'll go ahead and kick off some of our regular topics here. And of course, as always, we start with what we've been playing. And since I've been like talking for the past 10 fucking minutes, like we'll start with Jeff. Jeff, what about you, pal?
You're muted again.
Jeff, you're muted.
That's it. Take a drink, everybody. That's it.
I think he's still muted.
I'll go first.
Okay, go first.
Because
If he's typing in Discord, I can't see anything because I've got to rub.
Yeah, he said I'm not muted. Somebody else go. He's troubleshooting. So I have been playing Baldur's Gate
again.
Oh yeah, I'm going through another playthrough.
How many playthroughs is this now?
I have a few where I make characters.
And then you're like, no, I don't like my character. I'm rolling again.
No, I want to play the different classes and the different races and see what kind of different dialogue options I'm gonna get.
Interesting. Okay.
And like do things differently. Like, for instance, when you go to the goblin camp, you can have the choice to bring Minthara and all the goblins to the grove. I did not do that in my first playthrough.
Tell me you didn't do it on any playthrough.
Listen.
Oh, Britt.
Listen, John, listen. I brought them to the grove, okay? And then I turned on them and murdered them at the grove, and everybody was so fucking happy. And then Halson fucking beefed his ass up, and he was like, "Thank you."
Halson is so Halson.
Like, I've never seen that before. The only time I've like the introduction I've seen to Halson has been him imprisoned like as a bear, and then you gotta attack everybody in that room. So it was interesting to be like, where the fuck did Halson come from? Like, I didn't even have to rescue him. His ass just wandered out.
Somebody left the door open. He was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm fucking walking out of here. Halson like just walk up. Like Halson is hilarious to me because I knew him for like, and this was before they patched the game to make it like the characters less horny, but I knew Halson for all of literally 10 minutes. And I was like, hi, I'm so-and-so. And he's like, I'm Halson. And 10 minutes later, I approach him in camp and he's like, look, I've taken many lovers across my long life. And he's like, and I think you and I should. Yeah. And I'm like, Halson, dude.
And he can add me to the list.
I'm like, Halson, I think you're cool, man. But
so
I've known you 10 minutes.
I have an elf druid that I'm running solo, and then I have a drow ranger that I'm doing in a multiplayer game.
You have a tiefling too, right?
Yeah, but I beat the game, so I'm not playing with her anymore.
Okay, and how many hours are you into these other playthroughs?
Somebody else go and I'll look.
I thought you just didn't want to say.
No, let me go on Steam and just see how many hours I have on Steam.
Go ahead. Jeff, why don't you go ahead while Brittany's checking.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. I switched to my headset mic.
I can't hear you personally, Jeff.
Oh, that hurts,
I just
CJ.
choose not to. No.
By the way, the chat was shouting out how awesome it is that you're just streaming live from your job at American
Yeah,
Express halftime
Yeah, that's
report.
really cool. Yeah.
Congrats on the gig.
Yeah, I'm super close to Shaq. I have beef with Ernie Johnson personally.
Yeah,
I'm potentially stuck in the Celtics and Bucks halftime because it's hell. It's hell because I hate both teams now.
Yeah, so I'm still playing Starfield. I'm 78 hours in now. I haven't started the main quest yet.
Jeff, that's a long fucking time for you. That's a
lot. That's a lot. I don't play games for this long. It's a lot of time.
I haven't been on when you talked about Starfield. As far as like actual like being able to like live in this world, like how immersive is it on like that
horrible.
Red Dead 2?
Absolutely horrible, TJ. I love the game. Like, I'm liking the game a lot, but I ranted about this last time. It is the worst Bethesda game for like immersion and role playing and living in because like there's no world to explore. It's just like the space is just a menu.
So you're saying I should just boot up Skyrim for the 8th
like if you want to actually explore, because like the space is just in your menu. Like you bring up your menu and you see space in all the systems, and you pick a city to go to, and you just fast travel there. Like that's there's no exploration. Like there isn't. So anyway, I read about last. I'm not gonna repeat myself.
Right. Sorry.
Liking it. I spent like 3 hours today designing a new ship and blew all my money. Like I love this ship design. I love ship management. I wish you could do more with your ships. I spend hours in my apartment because the game is so clumsy, like trying to put a coffee mug on a shelf, but it's like flying all over the place because the fucking physics in these games are just bananas. But you know what? Like it's a good time. I've done like a bunch of the faction quest lines. Like I mentioned it last time, when the game gets out of its way and you kind of manage to get over the problems and stuff like that, like it's really fun. There's some really interesting quests. Not all of them work. Like there's a lot of stealth quests and some of them are really good, but some of them the level design just isn't there, and it's like the stealth mechanics aren't there, and it's really frustrating.
How's the shooting?
The shooting actually feels really good. Like it's not gonna feel like a real shooter, but like yeah, but like I think people said Fallout 4 was like better. This is like even way better than Fallout 4. Like the hit feedback is good. It doesn't feel like you're fighting with. There's no VATs or anything to fuck around with. Like it just feels solid. For the kind of game it is. Like it's.
Sorry, I don't mean to have you repeat stuff.
It's like,
I'm just curious because you're the only person I know who's played it. Like
yeah, which is crazy because it's like it's a big game and like it's like in the thread in our Discord server, it's just me and Rar.
I'm never going in there.
All the bugs, and like I'm sorry, I will never criticize reviewers because I believe reviewers and everyone has a different experience. Like a lot of stuff's down to luck of the draw. But I cannot fucking believe that every review said this is the most bug-free Bethesda game, and they had like one bug in 60 hours. Like, holy fucking shit, you guys!
It's because they were obviously paid off. You know.
I have a fucking novel of bugs I've run into. I have 5 quests that are broken that I can't finish. The most recent one today is for some reason now when I land or take off from a spaceport, there are 2 of my ships, but they are like inside of each other, and one blocks me from getting into the other one.
Ship fucking.
They are. They're ship fucking.
My favorite was the guy that like flew off in the air.
Hey, you know what?
They're like just floating below it.
You know what, Jeff? I ship them. I ship them. I ship your 2 ships.
You know what?
Shut the fuck up. Stop.
Great time together.
Damn.
Should we start the shut the fuck up tally now?
Man, god damn, that was bad. I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry. I'm angry. Go ahead.
That's all right. So I mean, it's just I mentioned it last time. It's just frustrating because like you finally get in a good groove for a few hours, like doing some quests and stuff, and then there's always just something that's like, oh my fucking god, this sucks. So it's I think the game, and honestly, it's been a month, and the post-launch support feels disappointing. There's been like one update, but it was just like small performance tweaks and stuff. Like, and it isn't just me. Like, I'm not crazy. You can go on Reddit, and all the bugs I've been running into, like, there's threads, and people are posting solutions. The one I ran into, no, I gotta say this because it's funny. The one I ran into today, the ship fucking bug, the ships that are like this. So the solution isn't to like just reload your last save. It's not even to quit the game, because I quit the game back to my desktop and booted back up again. I had to shut down my PC and fucking pull the power plug from the source for an hour. So like, and like for someone who's not in, like I work in, I'm like kind of software dev, like, obviously it's storing something crazy in the system memory, like in the CMOS or something like that. Like it's just I have never fucking seen this. We have to do a full power drain to like fix a bug. It's absolutely wild.
That's
So
fucking awesome.
Honestly, that's why I've never picked up a Bethesda game, is because I can't stand like the glitches. Like I can't get immersed when somebody's just
yeah.
fucking staring at me while they're
Uh,
walking sideways, you
And
know?
I put up with it. And I said last time because I do believe
Yeah.
like these games offer like in terms
Oh,
of like
so many
role.
people love them. I'm
Yeah,
just I'm not one.
it's like
That-
it's just like the role playing element. Like there's a lot of interesting things, but like you kind of have to do it yourself. Like the game doesn't provide it, but it gives you the freedom to do a lot of cool things. But
Right, it's more
I
of a
mean,
meta game rather than
this
like.
is the developer. I think Todd said on the original Xbox when they released Morrowind there, when the game would freeze for like a minute at a time, that was them silently rebooting your Xbox to fix the bug and bring it back without actually crashing the game.
Oh my
So
god.
it's
Do
See-
you like roleplay, Jeff? Like roleplay games in
it
general?
might be
Or
like
just
this might be
roleplay.
different from like what people think in like an MMO. So like when I say roleplay, I mean like the freedom to like make your character kind of really who you want. Maybe kind of like Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously,
Yeah,
that one's
I
on
was
an
gonna
entire
say, because
level.
if you like roleplay
Yeah.
dialogue,
I-
you should absolutely play
I'm
Baldur's Gate.
absolutely I will, but it's like and the freedom has kind of gotten less with each Bethesda game. But like to go back to Morrowind, I could like every NPC in the game had their own house and their own routine. So like at nighttime they would go back to their house and sleep, and you wouldn't be able to find them in shop. Like just kind of like little things like that that a lot of other games don't do. And their houses would be labeled for that NPC, and you could go there in the middle of the night and murder them and like clear out all their stuff and take their house and move all your stuff into there, and like without like kind of like almost like breaking the game and bypassing the system that actually lets you buy a house, or like like you can collect weapons and like store them on shelves and stuff like that. Like I'm kind of a collector in these games and I like to display stuff. Or like Rar and I were talking, like we have like a massive amount. Like I have like 20 outfits in my inventory, and like depending on the situation, like if I'm like meeting people for like a secret deal, I'll throw on like a business suit, or like I change my outfits depending on like like just little things like that. Versus like like The Last of Us, like you've got skins, but like it's just kind of again make your own fun kind of thing. But again, it's just freedom that like isn't in a lot of big AAA games, and especially like a lot of people don't care about the item persistence. But it is fucking cool that if I put an apple in my shelf in my house in the middle of a volcano across the entire galaxy and go back there, that apple is either exactly where I left it or it's fallen through the shelf and like is glitching out and bouncing around the house because the physics are crazy. It's one or the other, but it is cool. It is
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, if you like role playing elements, you would definitely love. Jeff, do we have the same cups?
I don't know. My friend got me this. I don't
Oh, never
know.
mind.
It's
No,
a
just
wine
kidding.
glass. No, it's a yeah, close.
But yeah, like Baldur's Gate has like
Mhm.
a story mode, like an easy mode, like you love.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of role play as far
I'm gonna
as
love
like
that game. I just gotta find 100 hours.
right.
But like,
Well, speaking of, I'm just gonna
So-
say this real quick. So my hours for the last 2 weeks are 109, and my total hours are 408.
holy fucking
Brit,
shit.
that's unacceptable.
What? I'm curious, Britt, because like I think you're kind of like me. Like,
Yeah,
what was the
I
last game? What was the last game you put that much time into that wasn't like an MMO?
I can't even
Anything?
think about it. Like even with 16 and God of War, like
Yeah.
But those can cap off at like 60 at most.
yeah.
80
yeah.
maybe.
And like when I was at 60, I was still in the first chapter because there's
Holy
just
fuck.
so much to explore, and you don't
But,
have to
like,
do
obviously,
everything
it's
that
like-
I do.
So-
But
But
like
obviously, like a lot of these games, you can like kind of do the completionist, and it's kind of a chore to do it all. It sounds like you're so into it, and like it's just so good that you.
yeah, it's
like,
fun. Like
Yeah.
nothing feels fetch questy like normal video games. It literally just sounds like it feels like it's an adventure. Like
Yeah.
everything you do in that game feels like an adventure. It doesn't feel like a chore or a task. Like they just I don't know the last time I've ever been into a game like this before. Like I've liked games, but like usually I play a game and then I fizzle out and go back to an MMO or something. But this bitch has its grasp on me.
So I wanna Jeff, I've got a question about Starfield. So I think the last Bethesda game I played was or the last Bethesda RPG I played was Skyrim, right? And have the character or have the NPC interactions evolved at all? Because I know that in Skyrim, like I would walk into a town for the first time and I don't know anybody here. And I would just walk into a tavern, right? And some random guy sitting at a table with other people, just sitting there, would turn to me out of nowhere with his like fucking dead salmon in the freezer eyes, and he would pull this. He'd go like, "Hey, I've been trying to buy the store from Ragnar, but I need a mammoth's tusk."
Yeah, that's.
And I'm
I
like,
mean,
okay, cool. Like, what the fuck? What? And so like, is that the like? Does Starfield do the same thing?
A little bit. So like, I mean, if you're talking about like the salmon eyes or whatever, like I think like the NPCs have gotten better, but like there's still it's still you got a dead person in the middle of the screen talking to you. Like visually, the rest of the game looks phenomenal. It's like by far their most technically advanced game. Like it's gorgeous.
I've heard that
But
too. Yeah.
the faces, you can tell like they still. And it doesn't bother me. Like I play old games where like I'm looking at like Metal Gear Solid 1 where like Snake doesn't even have a mouth. Like that stuff just doesn't bother me. But like I
Every
get that it's
RPG has that weird RPG
yeah.
face where it's like you
But I
talk
think
to them.
well, in this one, it's a little better, but it's also kind of annoying. They don't really talk to you directly anymore. Like they don't grab you by the shoulder and be like, "Hey, I need 5 mushrooms. Go fucking get me them." Like, but what the frustrating thing is, actually, most of the quests you get, it's interactions between other people. So you walk into a bar, and the dead salmon eyes guy is talking to another dead tuna eyes guy, and you overhear their conversation, but you don't get the option to accept the quest. As soon as you hear 1 second of that conversation, you get a little notification, and it's dumped into your quest log. And if you don't do it, you can't hide it. And I know this drive Bit crazy because she has like OCD like
That
stuff
would
like me as
drive
well.
me fucking nuts.
If you don't want to do it, it's in there forever. It's
Fuck
always in your quest log. You
that.
can't hide it. You can't abandon it. You didn't choose to
That
accept
That
it.
already like
sucks.
makes
Crazy.
me want to. Like,
that makes me want to
makes
break
me
out
wanna
in
gag.
hives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
But it, like the NPCs, yeah, like that stuff has gotten better. There's like some cool, like a lot of other games do, but it's kind of like newish to Bethesda games where like there's a lot of contextual like. Depending on what you've done in the game already, different people will mention different things that you've done. So, for example, there's I don't want to spoil anything, but there's kind of like a subplot in one of the faction quests. It's basically a take on Alien, like the face huggers and stuff like that. It's kind of like a threat in the galaxy. And kind of in the beginning of the game, it's never really mentioned, and you find out like that these beings were transforming from a different animal, and then everyone around the world will start to like watch out for this animal and kind of warn you, hey, I saw some of these here. So like there's some cool progression based stuff like dialogue for NPCs and stuff that feels pretty natural. Like I do think they've made a lot of improvements, but it's just it's a different kind of game, and it tries to do this is like the main criticism and the main praise. It tries to do a lot, and like it does a lot of things, but like each given thing there's going to be another game that does it better. So it just depends. Do you want everything done kind of like 6 out of 10? You're going to love Starfield, but like if you want like a 10 out of 10 voice acting and face animations and like immersion and stuff like that, like you're not going to get what you get with like a Naughty Dog game just because it's like the scale is different. So I don't know, that's my take on it. Like, but yeah, the NPCs, like, they're better than Skyrim. Like the game has come a long way since Oblivion and Skyrim, but it's got some improvement to go still.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of support that Starfield gets going forward. What's interesting is that I think it's actually Bethesda's lowest reviewing game in a long time, which is not a bad thing. Like it's still got like in the low 80s, which is fine. Like people put too many.
It's still inflated the hell like most AAA games. It's fine.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. Like the review like.
But yeah, no, look, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Starfield in the future. I'll go quick, CJ, and then I'll roll it over to you because I'm going to be fast.
You usually are.
Gotta go fast.
Yep, exactly.
All right, Sonic, tell us what you've been playing.
Fuckers. All right, so I've been playing the new, of course, obviously the Final Fantasy 16 or 14 6.5 patch, Growing Light. I finished the main storyline.
I need to get back into it.
It's fucking phenomenal. If you have played Final Fantasy IV, like it's not a spoiler to say what the final boss of the patch is because they literally, it's like
I feel like it is because I've been purposely not paying attention to it.
Okay, well, if you played Final Fantasy IV, you know how this ends. So which is what that's all I'll say. It is a really really epic finale. And there is one of the coolest character moments that I've seen in my years and years playing this game with Zero. That I cannot wait for fans of Final Fantasy IV, especially to experience. But that's all I'm gonna say about it. There's a moment with Zero that is a huge huge Final Fantasy IV callback. And I know she wasn't in Final Fantasy IV. She's an original character for 14. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it.
And she's an awesome character.
She is a great character, and it's made very clear that she's going to stick around, which is really, really cool.
Can you imagine if like another mainline Final Fantasy game could get some women right the way that 14 has some awesome women?
Like Zero is
Another
Like-
Yoshi P. Another
I don't-
Yoshi P.
I don't want to say that like Final Fantasy 14 gets slept on, but I really honestly think it gets slept on because it's an MMO from like people who aren't really MMO people. Like they obviously aren't going to play the game, but goddamn,
which is
it-
a shame because it's some of the best Final Fantasy storytelling out there.
It's
I've
it's
said it
my second
before.
favorite Final Fantasy.
I said it before, like I wish it would get something like a Ever Crisis or like, you know, there was that Final Fantasy 15 version for Switch. Like I wish there'd be another version that just takes the
A
story
light
of 14
or
and
condensed
just puts it
version.
in a super basic ass like you know,
That would
doesn't
be
need to gra-
amazing.
Dragon
But just so
Quest
people
10
can
did
get the
that.
story.
Dragon Quest 10 did that with Dragon Quest 10
Yeah.
offline.
Yeah, like they need to do that because fuck, it's the best. Like, you know, everyone's got their different like top Final Fantasy
Yeah.
game, but everyone I knew who's played 14 has it in like their top 3 to 5. Like
That's where
it's
that's
just-
where it is for me.
yeah.
It's but yeah, no, Growing Light is a
I'm gonna run with it.
just an absolutely phenomenal way to end. And this very like there's another little bit of story coming in 6.55, but this very definitively brings the Endwalker story to an end. No pun intended. And also with the Myths of the Realm, there is the final. What is that noise?
That was me. Sorry.
Okay,
My microphone
I
fell.
was just like, oh my god. And
My
also
microphone fell.
this is the it also came with the final 24-man alliance raid for the Myths of the Realm where you're fighting the gods. And I finished that as well, and it brings I won't say why, but it brings really kind of like the entire 10-year arc beginning with Hydaelyn, waking up with Hydaelyn, and like it brings it all to a close. And it really feels like almost like a soft reboot of the entire story in a good way. You'll see what I mean when you get there, but the end of Myths of the Realm, you need to do you need to do that storyline because it is huge it has huge implications for Final Fantasy XIV's world and lore going forward. And there is a sea change that happens at the end of that affects every character, every person in Eorzea. I won't tell you what it is, but you really need to experience it.
Sorry,
I
is this
really-
the main quest, John, or did you say it's a side
No,
quest?
no, this is the 24-man alliance raid. It's the Myths of the Realm.
The Eureka ones, right?
Yeah, no, not Eureka. This is the Agora. Or I'm sorry, not
No,
Agora.
that's what I meant. Sorry.
Aglaya. Yeah.
Yeah, the gods one.
Yeah, it's where you're fighting the gods.
Okay.
You need to finish
Yep.
it. It's very bittersweet.
I get really intimidated by 14. I don't know. I don't like playing it alone. I don't know why. Like
play
I
with
just,
me. I play with me. I'm on almost every night.
I'm like the opposite. I can't play with people because like I can't focus.
Well, like I feel
on,
like I can't
anything.
do anything because like I
Oh.
always get on 14 and it's like I can't run anything because I don't really have anybody to play with,
Oh, I
and
see, yeah.
I'm too
So-
shy to join Party Finder, and like I don't want to suck.
Play with
you know?
me,
At
Britt.
some point,
Play with
you're gonna
me.
get to the point where you just threaten me, where I have to like fucking buy
Britt,
this shit.
play with me. Play
We
with me,
played
Britt.
together once.
Play with me tonight. I'll play tonight if you want.
I have
But
to get through the story first, and then we'll play together.
Dorian Gamer in chat said Myths of the Realm had me sobbing. Like it's extremely poignant at the end. But that's that. I mean, that's literally what and I've been playing separate ways, but we talked about that last week, so I'll let that lie. CJ, go ahead.
I'm gonna need this. It is October 5th. We are 20 days away from the start of the new NBA season. 20 days away until the Miami Heat play. It's gonna be a rough ride.
Why did why did that sip look painful for you?
Because it is painful. It is painful. The Eastern Conference is painful. It is Pat Riley fucking fumbled this bag. We're done. We're done. Anyway, I've been playing a lot of 2K. I'm 43 hours into this game. It's probably the most time I put into a non-review game this year. The way that Jeff, that you talk about how hurt you are whenever Starfield fumble something really like meaningful or whatever. That's how I felt in all 43 hours of this game. All 43 hours of this game so far. All the highs and lows. I scored the most points out of any player in Clippers history. Not that hard because the fucking Clippers have sucked for years. I made I made Rookie of the Month once. I averaged like 30 something points a game in a team full of like some of the greatest one of the greatest small forwards of all time, one of the greatest guards of all time, one of the other greatest power forwards of all time, all fucking sleeping. I don't make the playoffs. I never thought I didn't think I would, but it's fine. But I got us into like the play-in tournament before we could make the playoffs. The fucking Pelicans knocked us out. What do I get for it? Nothing. I make all NBA rookie team. I don't make rookie of the year. Fucking Victor Wembanyama beat me out for that. And all of that after all that pain.
All that sorrow. No, tell me,
sorrow.
CJ.
I'm doing well.
Tell me,
doing
CJ.
So well. Okay.
You get
What happened, CJ?
You get back up and you put 110% in, and you do that ball thing you're supposed to do.
You have fun and try your best.
I am scoring so much better than everyone. It hurts because I'm not winning games. We're not winning because my team sucks. And how am I repaid for all that? How am I repaid for my loyalty to Los Angeles? How am I repaid for like the second potentially the third-rate team in California?
I thought.
Okay.
10-year contract?
No. Okay, so I signed a contract. Here's what the Western Conference looks like. All right, Paul George leaves to San Antonio. Why? Why would you do that? You were our second best scorer. Kawhi Leonard. Let me see. Hold up. Kawhi Leonard goes to the Lakers. Why would you go to the other LA team? Why would you stay in the same conference?
Why would he fucking do that? That's so stupid.
Russell Westbrook retires.
Oh my god.
What the fuck are any of you talking about?
Russell Westbrook retired. He is like 36. What is he doing retiring?
Holy shit, that's old. 36?
None of this shit means anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's insane.
Even worse.
This is fucking Greek to me.
LeBron leaves the Lakers and he
LeBron?
Okay. Because normally I'd be happy under any context to get LeBron James. He is fucking useless in my team. He is useless. He is my GOAT in real life. He is useless, putting up like 3 points a game. I pass him the ball to get those assists and nothing. What is it, a fucking double-double? He's putting up like 7 points. Are you kidding me?
The game's got some problems.
I was about to ask if we're talking about a video game or an actual game of basketball.
Well, I know what you're feeling, John, and this is how I feel when you guys are talking about Baldur's Gate, because I'm like, who the fuck are these people? What the fuck are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Why is everyone horny?
Who are these people?
Yeah,
okay.
Why is everyone banging each other?
CJ.
I actually got a piece of. Hold on. Go ahead, keep talking.
I was gonna say, CJ, are the players in 2K as horny as the characters in Baldur's Gate?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. There's too much. There's a long history with that.
Does LeBron get it on?
Like. There's a reason they call him.
Bro, what the fuck, man? So, I was actually thinking about this. I was unironically. Hold up. I was thinking about this because I've been listening to a lot of basketball.
Well, I'm sorry.
Lately.
Did you say unironically or unerotically?
All right, I'm gonna stab you. Fuck up.
Usually he's the fucking gremlin of the podcast, and now we're just.
I printed this model trophy. You guys can't see it. The green screen.
Yeah, I can see it. It looks like it's phasing in and out of reality.
Yeah,
though.
no, because that's what it's like to be a Miami fan. This is the closest anyone in Miami is gonna get to this year. Anyway, I was thinking like there are at least like 5 prime NBA teams that can beat any like main party in a Final Fantasy game, 100%. 2013 Heat definitely could beat like the 16 Final Fantasy party, most because half those characters are like asleep or dead.
How are the women in 2K?
The women, the entirety of the WNBA is there. The entirety of the WNBA, so way better female representation than
any Final Fantasy
16 than any mainline Final. Hell, they have female like color commentators. So women actually speak in this game, unlike most of Final Fantasy 16. Hey,
oh my god,
there's people of color in this game too. Yoshi P.
And the MVP of the women's team doesn't die at the end of the season.
What happened? No one gets fridged. No one gets fridged. No, man, they just win. Anyway, 2K's painful, and I'm still gonna play it. It's like, you know what? Like, however I talk about COD, it's nothing compared to this game. Like,
COD
playing-
the game or COD the fish?
I don't know.
Oh, we're talking pro
What are you
fishing, baby.
fishing?
talking about?
Fucking go from fishing to
It's a seamless
basketball.
well, you can't spell basketball without bass, so you know
Ooh,
I'm making good fucking points over here.
You know what?
I mean, you got a point.
I got less than zero interest in fishing in real life. I love fishing in video games.
Oh, I can do
Dude,
too.
fishing in video games is the
I
absolute best thing
fucking-
in the entire world.
I
Far
hate-
Cry 5's fishing is amazing.
I hate fishing in real life, and I hate fishing in video games even more.
Oh no, give me
I
like
loved fishing in
Pro
15.
Bass 24 or something like that. When Flunky was still on the podcast, I think him and Zach used to play some Bass Pro fishing.
Anyway, 2K's good or not? I don't know. I'm having fun. I can't wait for basketball season. I'm all in, baby. Let's go. Go Heat.
CJ is like
Delusional.
Do you talk about hockey like this, Jeff?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's your
100%.
game.
I
It
fucking
makes sense.
love
It's your,
ho-
it's
I-
your, it's
no.
your,
Hockey. I fucking love. That's my
it's your
sport.
game. It makes sense. We all have, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all have that. Like, my dad loves soccer. I have a lot of friends who are like, most of my mutuals on Twitter are either into baseball or
Can
football.
I?
Because...
Go ahead.
No, go, please.
No, I keep finish your sentence.
No, that's it. Like,
Oh.
it's just, everyone has their.
You wanna hear a bit of Brit trauma?
Yes, of course.
Do I?
I
Exactly.
don't like anything sports because my dad was a sportsaholic growing up. It
Mhm.
was always on the TV. He had it blaring on the radio whenever he was outside or in the garage, which was directly below my bedroom. Like it was sports 24/7 to the point where I can't stand it. Like I can stomach football. Football's fine. But like
You got worse from
anything
me.
else, I'm just like, oh, hate it. Hate it.
What we
Fuck you,
need,
Dad.
what the world needs is a blitzball game, right, Britt?
No.
I'm kidding. I don't want a fucking
No.
blitzball
The
game.
mini game that is universally loved, Blitzball.
Blitz-
I fucking love Blitzball, by the way.
No, we need
Oh,
triple
God, I
triad.
hated that shit. Britt, what we need is a fucking just a straight up triple triad game on Switch and mobile. That's what we need.
They
like-
had one on mobile, but just wasn't great
Oh,
through the Final Fantasy
Whatever.
app. Wow, who's the bigger Final Fantasy fan here, John?
not fucking you. Look right behind me. Like, look right over my massive shoulder here.
Stolen
Like-
valor. Stolen valor. I went to LA to play 16 before you. Does that make me a bigger Final Fantasy fan?
No,
There
it
it
doesn't
goes.
actually, CJ.
Yes,
Because
there it goes.
because I went to LA as part of the launch party for the game, CJ. I'm getting a
Yeah, but I
Final
played it
Fantasy
before.
tattoo this year. Who's the bigger fan now, bitch?
Oh, are you getting Kefka, the Kefka Angel tattoo?
So that's my first tattoo is going to be the Amano logo from 16, Phoenix and Ifrit. But instead of Final Fantasy 16, it's going to say Find the Flame.
Why not come to me, Ifrit?
Because I want Find the Flame.
But like, imagine just like meeting Ben and be like, Ben, read my tattoo.
But I want Find the Flame.
I played Forza Motorsport too. It came out today in early access. I did the unthinkable, Jeff. The last time I was on a podcast, we
Yeah.
talked about the evils of like the Game Pass early access pre-orders.
You caved?
Oh, dude. Oh wait, why am I
So
blurry
did you
now?
do the
Oh,
thing where
shit,
you
I'm
don't
drunk.
actually own the game? You just get a Game Pass and then you bought it, the premium edition?
Why am I blurry? Oh, Jeff, I did exactly that.
Oh
Forza.
no.
It's
You
Forza,
gave him
baby.
$50 and you don't have anything.
I gave him 30.
Oh, sorry, US dollars. Okay.
You,
Oh.
yeah, baby, USA.
How is it?
Well-
How's Forza?
Man, you know what? It's hard.
It's a racing
Yes.
game.
Yes, good job, John.
Yeah. See?
Of course.
I'm a fucking
Oh.
gamer,
I
dude.
do
Don't question
drive
my.
a car.
Determined to challenge our traditional audience tonight. Back
Oh,
to back 2K and Forza.
I like how John and I are just over here fucking like
It's a shame
sports.
there's no traditional
Sports!
podcast. There's no traditional podcast on the week that a new Mario and Sonic drops. Because after that, there's a new rally game coming out that I'm just gonna talk about for like a month straight.
Now,
It's
if there
gonna
At
be
was-
least
worse.
they'll understand it.
Wait
like, fuck.
till Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 comes out.
Oh my
And-
I
god.
already did. It came out in 2015. It sucked.
Or 6, whatever. Like whatever's next. Like whatever the fuck is next. Wait till that shit
Yeah, but
comes
everyone
out.
understands that. But like for Jeff, really quickly to answer your question, it's good. It's just like I've never played a motorsport game. I've only played Horizon. So this is it's a lot
Dear
harder
God.
than any
Yeah.
other like sim I played. Like even worse than like it's GT7 kind of like eases you in, and it's more of like cars, like
Mhm.
as a concept. This is more like you're gonna learn how to like drive, and it's gonna be like the worst. I turned ABS off, and it like fucked me up completely.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I can't do this. I have to play with like every single accessibility feature on, because I will not be able like to progress or anything. Also on Xbox Series S, it looks ugly and washed out, and I'm really bummed.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
so
well, I think overall, like people have some issues with like the color tone. Like
it's rough.
it's like it's intentional, but like it's very like kind of overexposed. And I know I was watching a Digital Founder video on it,
Bummer.
but
I'm so bummed. Like the old
yeah.
no, even Horizon was like that wasn't enough to get me to like think I am missing out. You know what I'm saying? That game looked
Mhm.
fine.
Yeah.
This is like truly the first time where I'm like, God, bro.
Yeah. I'm
Bummer.
curious that the one like most like the reviews have been good and most people are really enjoying it. The one thing I've heard that's kind of divisive is like the career, like the way you
Yes.
upgrade cars, because it's
Yeah,
very
in the
like
long run, I'm not looking forward to that.
yeah. So how does it
not-
work? Because like you have to unlock.
I've only put in 2 hours, but the way it works, so from what
Okay.
I understand, I watched a couple reviews before.
Yeah.
But it's like you're maxing out your car as opposed to like.
But you have to drive it to do that. It's not like
Yes.
in GT
So-
where you can just buy a beater and then spend 300,000 and just upgrade everything on it.
No. You unlock
Yeah.
upgrades by leveling up.
Okay.
They do the thing where they give you a choice between 1 to 3 cars. I picked the Civic, obviously. But like
Wow.
driving feels good.
Yeah.
I really miss racing games on PS5 though, because of the triggers.
Yeah.
The Crew Motorfest did the adaptive triggers like maybe the best of any racing game I played, even better than GT7. This is like the the actual rumble feels good, but like I miss it. I'm getting used to it. It's just a lot more intense than I thought. Also, Britt and I recorded a review of Dragon Quest Infinity Strash Adventures of Die, that new Dragon Quest spin-off.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry.
Believe it or not,
First
it
of all, hold
was
on.
not as
Shout out-
chaotic as this.
It wasn't as negative as like.
Did you just me?
No.
Wow.
I'm like, all right. I'm
Wow.
like getting over some congestion. Right?
What are you trying to do here? Make a
No,
pizza? Talk about pizza?
Jesus, our 4 Italian listeners are gonna like hate us. And on the weekend of Columbus Day. No, I first of all, shout out to Square for the code. But yeesh, rough. Not the worst game I've played in like a while, but it's like probably the most disappointing game I played. You guys will find out why whenever that podcast drops. But as of now, it's just a bummer that like a spin-off of like what Square's second most popular, most famous like RPG series is like this rough in shape. John, you'll appreciate this. I referenced that it's probably the modern equivalent of something like a Mystic Quest, whatever it's called.
See, here's the thing though, like Mystic Quest was harmless, right?
But this is like big first RPG. But the problem is this: you're gonna get more out of like Final Fantasy 16's like accessibility features than you would that, right? So let's say someone's coming in and is like, I've never played an RPG before. What would you tell them to play? You tell them, all right, pick up 16, put all the rings on, play on like the story difficulty.
I mean, I would tell them to play Final Fantasy 4 or 6, but go ahead.
No, okay, a modern John. All right.
I tell someone who's never played an RPG before to go play Final Fantasy fucking 4, you piece of shit.
Go play this.
They're gonna hate
Go play
themselves.
this
They're never gonna play video
Wow,
games
this got mean. Holy
I love
shit.
that
Damn,
game, but they're
bro.
never gonna play a video game again if that's their first RPG. I'm sorry.
I've never played a platformer before, and I'm like scared of difficulty. What should I play? Oh, go play DKC 2. You know what I'm
Super Meat
saying?
Boy.
Go play Super Meat Boy.
Go hate yourself.
Play Celeste. You'll love it. It's very easy.
I've never played a multiplayer game before, and I'm kind of scared of confrontation. What should I play? Oh, go play Modern Warfare 2. Get in the full lobby, voice chat on. You're gonna have a swell old time. Go play Overwatch 2 ranked. You're gonna have a swell old time. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I apologize. It took up a lot of time. Talking about basketball. It's gonna get worse.
That's fine. This is a safe space,
Yeah.
CJ. You can talk about whatever you
Mostly.
want
It's mostly.
Doesn't feel like it. But all right.
All right. Jeff, why don't
I
you go ahead?
too like to talk about balls for a long time, CJ. So it's no problem. You and I are a common soul.
Jeff, we got 30 minutes left. Why don't we kick off a topic?
Yeah, so we got a few more topics we'll try to get through here. I don't know how much time we'll spend on them. It's been a rough week. It's been a rough few months. It's been a rough year, a rough decade. I don't know. It's been rough for the games industry for many reasons,
really
especially
have.
layoffs. It seems like they just don't end. Of course, we always offer our condolences to people who lost their jobs. We talked about it last week. We just simply don't have time to cover it all. So I picked one that just broke, I think, today, and our good friend Reb Valentine over at IGN has a really good story on it. So Telltale Games has allegedly laid off most of its workers. So a bit of background here, because like people constantly get confused with this.
Well, hold on.
So
I'm actually not. I'm hearing this for the first time today.
yeah, so years ago, I think back in 2018, 2019, Telltale Games closed. They laid off everyone. They closed. Obviously they released like The Walking Dead, Wolf
Right.
Among Us, stuff like that. Shortly after that, a completely new company, unrelated, was created. Has nothing to do with Telltale, but they bought the name Telltale and they bought the rights to a lot of their projects and intended to resurrect them. They hired a lot of the old Telltale developers, and so they were basically like, yeah, we're going to bring Telltale back to life. So this is that company. So this came from someone on Twitter. This is former Telltale cinematic artist Jonah Wang, who basically said that most of the new Telltale was laid off in early September. He cannot talk about the status of The Wolf Among Us 2 because he's NDA'd. So Reb's article just kind of goes on to say there's a statement from Telltale that they did let go some of the staff. They do say that all their projects are still in production. So take that for whatever you want.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I mean, the other interesting thing is they just bought another studio a few weeks ago, UK studio named Flavorworks. So they bought a studio, and then 3 weeks later, apparently laid off most of their staff, at least the ones that were working on The Wolf Among Us 2. So it's just kind of like noteworthy for a few reasons. Like to my knowledge, the new Telltale has not released a game yet. I think The Wolf Among Us 2 was going to be their first one. They did release The Expanse,
It's not
but they
coming out now.
published that game. It was developed by Deck 9. I think
Gotcha.
Wolf Among Us was their first internally developed game to be released.
It's not coming out now.
So I'm sorry, Wolf Among Us fans. Like,
It's
doesn't
not
I know it's
not-
been a
not
rough road.
happening.
Like, it's just it's so disheartening. Like, and this guy, the person who posted this on Twitter, they were hired on from the original Telltale, so they've been laid off from original Telltale and from new Telltale.
Telltale.
Fuck, man.
Christ.
This industry is so fucking unforgiving.
Yeah,
Like,
but I mean, if you guys like want to comment on it, the only other like angle I kind of had is like The Expanse. They did publish it and it came out, and I feel like I like these kind of games, so I heard about it. I feel like there was no marketing for that.
there wasn't.
And the other thing people bring up is like, I think The Expanse went back to the episodic model, and there's been a lot of debate over like whether these kind of games, is it better to do the episodic, like episodes come out every few months or every few weeks, or is it better to release everything at once? And like, I don't know, like I was talking about it with Sam on our Discord, like you can release all the episode at once and people seem to like that, but at the same time it's very easy for your game to get buried, especially if it's a Telltale game based on The Expanse, whereas getting that multiple release cycle, like you're kind of in the news every few weeks or month when a new episode comes out. So I don't know, like I don't know if you guys like if that plays into like the failure, because like we know the old Telltale, their games were not selling at the time either, and I don't know if it's the style of the game or the genre, or is it the release schedule, like people don't want to wait months at a time to like see the next part of the story. I don't know what the answer is with these kind of games.
I think you can make an argument both ways, right? Like I see the appeal of the episodic model, but at the same time, I feel like, especially if you're like in a tenuous position like Telltale apparently was, like you run the risk of releasing essentially a half-finished game, right? Like, because what if this shit happens and you're halfway through the season of whatever game you're putting out, right?
Or what if you release episode 1 and the entire player base decides I'm gonna wait till all the episodes are out, and you have no revenue coming in until you finish the game? Like,
yeah, like it's you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's a shame about.
Yeah,
that's a shame about. Like I had like obviously I knew that Telltale of old was done, but I hadn't heard that the new one. God, that fucking sucks. It's just been a what a couple fucking weeks for the industry, man. Although I will say I will say and I don't want to like steal the baton from you here or anything, Jeff. I know you're running the topics, but it was good to finally see some justice brought down at Ubisoft, at least.
Yeah.
Like,
So, yeah, this one as well. I mean, there's tons of sources on this one. This one came from our friend Ash Parrish at The Verge. So
Great
French
journalist.
French
Love her.
newspaper. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation because I am from Canada, but I'm not French. French newspaper Liberation reported that 5 ex-Ubisoft employees have been arrested in connection with a sexual harassment investigation by French police. So this includes these people we talked about on the podcast years ago because they were big. This was
Yeah.
creative officer Sergei Hakuse and Tommy Francois, both who left the company in 2020. But yeah,
Well,
they've now been arrested based on evidence, which the victim's lawyer says is specifically beyond simple individual behavior. It reveals systemic sexual violence.
yeah,
Um,
that's exactly what the fuck was going on. Like, was
Yeah.
Andrian Gitabigne one of the names that was listed as being arrested? Because that man's a fucking rapist.
yeah, sorry, I don't know. The Verge article only lists the 2 of them. I don't
They're
have the
two
other
like
3.
high ups. They're like the two. They're two big guys over at Ubisoft. They're like
Yeah,
huge names. Like
yeah.
Search has been
This is big news. Like, it's good that they're gone, but it's even better that they might finally. I mean, we're a long ways away, right? Like, there's still the trial and stuff like that, but hopefully we can finally see some justice because, like, this it feels like this shit is so pervasive in the industry, and best case, or I should say, worst case, they just stay on and nothing happens because they have seniority or they've been there forever and everyone just gives them a pass, or they get laid off and get another job and get to keep doing the same shit at another studio or another publisher. So to see some final repercussions, I think obviously it's still tragic that it happened in the first place, but
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people it's about damn time that something was actually done.
Well, and like Britt, I think you and I have talked about this in the past, and that Ubisoft has just particularly been just an absolute hellhole of sexual abuse and assault and just
Well, we've talked about it a lot on the podcast for sure.
yeah,
And like it always comes up when we're like, especially we talked about it a lot around when the Blizzard shit
Mhm.
got released. It was like, how do you continue supporting these companies when they're
Yep.
just shitty, you know? And I know Jeff, you like completely wrote off Ubisoft games.
And that Ubisoft games were all I played.
Yeah.
So like I don't play games anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know,
Do you
we're
do you
yeah.
think you'll go back at all?
I kind of like I'm kind of, you know, like I said at the time, I don't really ever boycott things with the intention of making change because I just don't think like it is just like I'm not doing this to like make a difference or like tell them like to try to affect change. I do it because like I just want to feel good about the games I buy. And it's like mixed, right? So it's been so long. I think we're all in the same boat. A lot of us are in the same boat with Blizzard. It's like I've been not buying these games for 5 years. Nothing has fucking changed, right? Like, what can we do? So I'm gonna keep being loud about it. I'm gonna use my only platform, which is this podcast, to bring it up at every possible occasion. Um, but at the same time, like, I'm just looking for any kind of meaningful progress, and I haven't really seen that with Ubisoft. So like, I bought Assassin's Creed 2 like a year ago. It's like an ancient game. It was cheap. Like, I'm still not gonna cape for Ubisoft games, but like, you know, there's thousands of employees there and most of them are probably good people and they're doing really good
Yeah.
work and trying their best to make good games. And it's like we all say the same thing all the time, like, what the fuck do you do? Like, if the game doesn't do well, the devs are the first ones to lose their job, but if a game does do well because everyone bought it, they don't really get much extra either. All the bonuses go to the top execs who are the shitbags. So like, there's no good answer. I'm just happy. I'm happy to see this. Like, I'm happy to see something fucking happening, and I hope it gets better for the employees there. That's all I can do.
Yeah, you know, it feels like at this point every week we're either hearing about layoffs or sexual assaults or both. And it's really disheartening. So I was very pleased to hear that we might finally be getting some justice for some of these fucking pieces of shit. And you know, the problem is, you know, there are still so many individuals and developers and publishers in this industry that have not had their reckoning yet. Like it's great. Like Ubisoft is one of the most pervasive in this regard, right? But there like Activision Blizzard, right? Like,
Yep.
you know, Activision Blizzard is not only, you know, not doing anything about their culture, but they're being bought by Microsoft. Like, you know, you know,
Mhm.
Bobby Kotick
And
is going
Which
to
Kodak's
is
be
a
a big
whole another
problem.
issue in itself.
yeah, Kodak's going to be laughing all the way to the bank. And
Oh,
Yeah, some
so
of the people are gone, but like guaranteed, like all the stories about the cube crawls and stuff like that, that was not Kotick. Like there was a lot of
Yep.
upper middle management, senior people in those studios that were not him that might still be there, right? Like, and they surround themselves with friends and they all protect each other, and that's how this stuff goes on because
like
it's a fucking wall of silence.
the way these
And
the way some of these places are described to me reminds me of scenes from like the fucking Wolf of Wall Street. And we're talking about
literally,
video
like that's what Rockstar was. I think they've actually made some good changes the last few years. But yeah, for sure, it's
and we're talking about
disgusting.
video game companies. Like
Yep.
it shouldn't be like this anywhere, but video game companies doing like cube crawls, what the fuck are you doing? I just it's a fucking miracle. It's a wonder that the industry exists at all. Because I don't know why anybody would want to be a part of that fucking kind of
It's
culture. Like,
we talk about the bad stuff all the time, but like it's important to flip it around. I think sometimes and say like it's a testament to how passionate developers are, like these creative people, these artists, who love it. Can you imagine? I can't. Can you imagine loving something so much that you put up with this for years and decades?
yeah,
And
this podcast.
you do it because you love the work so much and because you're so proud of the games you make, and that's what's happening here. That's why they're still doing this. Whereas like anyone, like if this was happening in my job, I would have been gone so fast because like it's just a job to me. But to these people, like this is their passion and their lifeblood. And it's so important to them to have their vision put out there for people to see and engage with. And I think it's so unfair that they can't do that in a space that's positive.
And I want to be clear.
So
There are
yeah.
there are devs and pubs that are apparently very wonderful places to work. Like I hear about
Yep.
Insomniac.
It's not all horrible.
Like Insomniac being a great place, and like Nintendo, like particularly Nintendo Japan being a great place. A lot of indie studios that treat their people extremely well. Capcom is apparently a very, very good environment for people to work in. Square Enix, particularly Square Enix Japan treats their people well. Like there are devs and pubs that do treat their people well. The problem is the ones that don't treat their people well are some of the most prominent and some of the most prolific. And we shouldn't have to tolerate this shit. Especially women shouldn't have to tolerate this shit. It all goes back to what I was talking about at conventions, right? Like from top to bottom. Like when you talk about this industry, women get the short end of the stick.
And it just like not making this about men. I think everyone knows I'm not making this about, but just to Brit's point, like abuse does happen to men as well. Like
It
we
does.
don't want to.
It does.
Yeah, this isn't like we're not competing marginalization, but like just I think it was important not to it sucks no matter who it happens to, and we don't want to erase anyone's experience. But like fuck, it just shouldn't happen. It's fucking video games, right?
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page there.
Jeff, what's next? What do we got? We got 20 minutes.
Yeah, so this one it'll be, I think, a fun topic. So John, you were mentioning on the Discord earlier that you're like pretty interested in Assassin's Creed Mirage. This is funny just coming off Ubisoft,
I know,
but like
right?
our position is clear. That's fine. You guys all know where we stand. So they're going back to kind of the classic Assassin's Creed model, like a shorter game. It's like a tight 20-25 hours. It takes place in a single city. It's not like this big 1,000-hour RPG. And they're still going to keep doing those games, but they decided to kind of, take another angle on it and say this franchise is popular enough. We can do like one of these games and still keep doing the RPGs. And I know it's like there's other games that have done that. Like Pokemon kind of has a couple of different mainline styles that they run. Sonic, obviously, they've got like their 2D Sonic and 3D Sonic. So I just thought it was interesting. Like, if you guys want to talk about like what your favorite series are that do this, or like, is there a series that you would love to see and think could handle like juggling two distinct styles of mainline games, to kind of appease two different audiences? Because I think there's quite a few out there that could justify this and could pull it off. So I don't know, John, if you want to kick it off.
Yeah, sure. Like I could think of a few franchises. Like one of the obvious ones is Final Fantasy. Like I love 3D Final Fantasy. Love them. I also love 2D Final Fantasy games, and I would love like imagine how cool it would be to get like maybe an HD 2D completely original Final Fantasy game, not a remake of any of the old ones, but just something that's just new with the Final Fantasy name that is unmistakably
Well,
Final Fantasy.
there's a market for that, right? Like Sea of Stars did pretty good this year, and
well, the Pixel
what was the
remasters
one?
themselves sold over 3
Yeah,
million copies. Like, I mean,
and like
that's
Octopath sells well. And what was the one you were playing earlier this year or last year? The really popular like
Chained Echoes.
Chained
Chained
Echoes,
Echoes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Chained Echoes sold incredibly. Like there is a like and look like a Eiyuden Chronicles, 100 Heroes, which is a spiritual successor to Suikoden. Like that's
Yep.
coming out next year, and it hit its Kickstarter goal like in what, a day. Like there is a, and like I said, the
Well-
Pixel remaster sold over 3 million, which is above what Square was anticipating. Like there's a real demand for this stuff.
Well, and it's not like they're averse to like exploring or like branching out with the Final Fantasy. Like we got Stranger of Paradise,
Yeah.
fucking Limp Bizkit ass game, and then we got like we get Feet Rhythm, and like there's lots of play within the Final Fantasy series,
Like-
but we haven't got like a mainline entry in a different style in quite some time.
Like I don't think they're going to do a 2D mainline Final Fantasy again, but
Yeah.
but what I would love to see would be like just a classic Final Fantasy game in that 2D style. Like look at the Live Alive remake, so like 1.5 million copies. Like that's, for something as niche as Live Alive, like that's fucking huge. So I mean, it's clearly wanted. So that's something I would love to see. And to be honest with you, I would love to see. Here's one that I don't think you guys would expect coming from me. I would love to see Halo drop this fucking like open world bullshit and just go back to being fucking Halo. Like just go back to Halo. Like Halo.
Well, I mean, they're only like one game into
And,
like the
and,
new
and even,
Yeah,
even then, Halo's
yeah,
always
but-
been open ended and always been like
Yeah.
about large scale. The only
But
linear
it's still-
game was
but it-
4, and it sucked fucking dick.
But
bro.
Halo, no,
I'm drunk.
but Halo 2 was still like a very linear
Yeah.
story driven game.
Boring ass game.
You're a
I
boring
will fight you,
ass
CJ. I
person.
fucking love
But
I love Halo 2.
No, Halo 2. I played all. Look, Halo 2 is that game takes like 8 hours longer than it should be. It's the fucking Last of Us Part 2 of Halo.
I got
that
one
shit
for you.
goes on for fucking ever. I want to hear
Who
this shit. Go
who here ever played Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions?
ahead. Yes, that game fucking rules.
That game
That game-
rules, and it's not an open world Spider-Man game. It's level based.
That's fine. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Shattered
Yeah, but here's the
Dimensions was
thing.
one of the most creative fucking games I ever played.
Yeah, but you can't swing. You got to swing on it's Spider-Man.
And guess what? You can't play it because licensing and it's delisted.
Yep.
Like, yeah, sucks
Can't even
ass.
fucking play
I
it.
would love
As
to play it.
boring as the Insomniac games are.
Oh my
Oh
God.
Jesus, CJ.
Dude, okay, Spider-Man 2 is
CJ.
still like the best like Spider-Man. That game. holds
No,
up.
no.
The swinging is so much
CJ
better.
I loved that game when it came out. You got the rose tinted glass.
No,
No,
CJ.
I played it recently. Okay, you know what?
CJ's over here like, man, if we could just go back to Web of Shadows, that would be
I
so
never played that.
sick.
No,
I liked Web of
I
Shadows.
would.
Oh,
No, but here's the
Jeff.
thing. No, because Spider-Man, the
Give me Spider-Man,
Insomniac,
I'm gonna have a good time. All right.
Insomniac Spider-Mans are just Arkham clones. That's
I
it.
I played Spider-Man recently, like when I got my PS5. That was like one of the first games. It was like Bugsnax and then Spider-Man, because I wanted something to play and there wasn't really a whole lot out at the time. So I played Spider-Man
wasn't.
and I loved it up until the end. Like I loved the game when it was more realistic and there was more civilians like in the city, and then it just became like, here are these fucking army people that are chasing you down and there's like hardly any civilians, and it's just like what how are, like, this is so ridiculous. Like it over time it was just like it just kept getting more and more ridiculous with like as the story progressed, and then by the end of it it was just like getting shocked, getting rocket launched like every other fucking
I hate
turn.
it's kind of off topic, but I agree with Brett. Like I hate the thing that games do where like here this relatively peaceful open world all of a sudden turns into a war zone for the last third of the game and you can't go anywhere without
Yeah.
dying. Like I
Yes.
hate when games do that. It
Yes.
drives me
I
insane.
liked
I'm like,
it
I
when
just
in
want to
Spider-Man,
explore.
like, it was more fun when you were like the fascists, because helping cops and all that, like that was more fun than like being targeted by
Okay,
them.
all right. CJ, here's one for you.
This bullshit. When this bullshit that's gonna come out of your mouth, John. Go ahead. I'm
No,
ready
no,
for it.
no. I'm gonna do something that is gonna activate CJ. So I'm gonna go in a
Okay.
different direction at it. There is a franchise that has been perennially stuck in 2D, and it's time for that 3D entry. And I'm talking about Donkey Kong.
Look, here's the thing.
Oh
retro,
fuck! Is Rar still in chat? He's gonna
retro
lose his
should
mind.
cause Metroid Prime 4.
Fucking air
100%.
horn.
retro, like whatever work
Donkey
they're doing
Kong
on
64
Donkey Kong,
2.
yeah,
call it that. Donkey Kong 128.
Donkey Kong.
No, look, Retro should. Here's the thing: Retro should fucking stop doing whatever they're doing on Metroid Prime 4.
Yep.
It's not
Agreed.
getting released anytime soon. Release
Agreed.
a new DKC game or remake Donkey Kong Land, and then we're good. We're good. Remake all 3 Donkey Kong Land games, and we're good. As far as games, you know what's funny though? Back to Final Fantasy, I would love another like traditional turn-based one with like the production value of 16.
Yeah.
I'd like that too.
Yeah,
Get me
Mhm.
10.
me too.
Get me 10 remake. Get me 10 remake, but it plays exactly the same as 10.
Or-
Like, that battle system is my
I'm
favorite of like.
I'm trying to picture like a photorealistic Tidus or whatever, and like
He looks like Meg Ryan. That's it, or like young DiCaprio.
face
And
scan
then
Meg Ryan, like 2023
Yeah.
Meg Ryan, and fucking
Yeah.
put her in
Oh
there.
my God,
That's
she's-
been a fucking meme joke since the game came out, and I'm so fucking tired of hearing
someone
it.
was like, young
Gonna
DiCaprio.
be honest.
Young DiCaprio is like the closest that we've ever gotten to like a real life Final Fantasy character, and it's true. It's like Tidus is like the perfect model for that.
I'll agree with that one, but fucking
And I would.
Meg Ryan
I
is
would
hot.
love-
You guys are weird.
He was. Anyway,
she
I
was
love-
until she got all that Botox.
Oh,
And
did
but,
she?
like,
Did she?
That's like
Oh,
the
I didn't know
closest to
that.
like melding like traditional. Because like
Mhm.
what else is there? Everything's kind of evolved for the better. You know what I'm saying? Everything's
Also, there's
kind of,
nothing wrong with Botox. It just didn't look great on her.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
like-
we're finally
What about
getting
the
a new.
2D turn-based 2K game?
I-
all right. Oh my god. Okay. Yes, because you get a whole party, right? So you have.
You got
hold
your
up,
squad on each side.
Your
God, what have I
center's-
done? What
your
have I done?
center-
Thanks
your
a lot,
center would
Jeff.
be your white mage, whatever, because their defense.
Brittany's
Alright,
so
your
pissed
forwards-
off.
Your forwards would be, I guess, your tanks, while your guards. What would your guards do? They'd be the one like no. I'll come back to it'd be like
No,
Advance Wars,
no,
right?
no. Your
So you
center.
play
No,
all 30
CJ.
all 30
CJ, your
all 30
center.
teams.
No, CJ, your center's your tank. Like I don't even like basketball, and I know
because-
that.
Because the centers are mostly like they're not gonna be scoring as much. They're pure like defense. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, man. How am I
You know what
gonna
I'd
do
love
this?
to see?
To Jeff, I was gonna Jeff
Go
on
ahead,
the
Britt. Go ahead,
logistics.
Britt.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Britt.
I want to see. We talked about this as like games I want to see come back or be remade, right? And I talked about this. Give me Paperboy, but in a Silent Hill theme, where it's just a fucking horror game.
Holy
And you're
shit!
running from people like trying to fucking stab you.
Fucking Postmatesing in
Yes!
No, what if you're Paperboy? What if you're Paperboy, but you're running from Herbert from Family Guy, and he's just running
No.
behind you the whole way, going,
No,
"I'm
no,
waiting
I
on
don't
the
like
big
that.
muscly Paperboy to bring me some good news."
I like the idea of like the Paperboy has some sin that he has to face, so Pyramid Head keeps stalking him.
Paperboy
Well, he's
Well, it
99.
doesn't even have to be like Silent Hill. Like I just meant like a horror game.
Paperboy has some sexual repression, and he's riding his bike away from it. And Pyramid Head is just like at like a random house that he knocks on.
It just chases him. Yeah, that would be amazing, right? Because he gets chased all the fucking time. Like
How about Abandon? Let's bring that back.
Paperboy's like, "I've got to deliver the news." Like,
I'm just trying to make a living. Everything's so expensive.
I'm just trying to.
Like,
I'm just trying to put myself through senior year of high school.
That- I'm trying to think like that specific point where it's like Assassin's
these
Creed has like
Cheetos
gone
are
through
not
so
new.
much, that now it's like back to basics. Like what? You're right. What other series could that be? Right? What's the
So
longest?
I'm gonna
It's like
I'm gonna bring up one that's like, I don't know. No one ever agrees with me on this opinion. That's fine. Like, so my thing with Resident Evil is I love 1 to 3.
I was
Because
I was going to do the same shit, Jeff. Go
because
ahead.
I love-
they gotta bring
I
back
like-
No, no,
Sims.
let him
I respect the
cook.
new games,
Let
but
'em
I've
cook.
and I no disrespect to them. I've tried 4 and I played all of 7. I just do not like Resident Evil games really post 3 because I like the traditional slow zombies,
Fixed
real
angle.
zombies. I like the fixed camera angles, and I get why people hate it. I get
That's
it.
why they got woke.
But,
Yes.
like, and I love the single location, like the mansion or the police station. Like, I love all that stuff. Like, and I would love to see like a new. Doesn't have to be mainline, just a new like high production Resident Evil
I would
game
love that.
in that really classic like. And I know it won't
would
happen, but
love that.
It's a spin-off. You
and
would
like
think,
just
right,
bring
that
back
they
real zombies, like and like because the new ones are scary and they're fucking terrifying. But like I don't want like demented villagers. I don't want like whatever's happening. Like I just
Ouroboros.
want
What
my
was
George.
Las Plagas?
Las
I just want my
Plagas.
George Romero like Night of the Living Dead zombies that walk at like 1 foot per minute. Like
Well, see,
give me-
Surprised, like,
that's why I really want a Code Veronica remake. Like, I think it
Yeah.
would be so fucking.
But I want
cool to
I want
have.
a Code Veronica remake with a fixed camera angle. Like I'm right
like
there.
the Resident Evil 1 remake.
Right. Yeah. Like I'm right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like they
yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
just
right there
Resident
with
Evil
Jeff.
1 remake
I'm
is my favorite entry in the series. Like I fucking love that game.
I'm
It's
right
just
there
one?
with Jeff.
You know
Yeah.
what?
What one,
Man,
Jeff?
the GameCube version of Resident Evil 1, like the remake.
Jeff, you know
yeah.
what?
3 was my
the-
favorite.
The like okay, because speaking on like Tony Hawk, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna bring up basketball again. But look, where are the licensed like
Speaking of Tony
arcade?
Hawk, let's talk about basketball.
No, but hear me out because it's like where are the licensed like arcade sports games, right? Because now we get like all these like weird indie ones, but like you know, where's NBA Jam? Where's NHL Blitz? Where's NFL? No, is it NHL Blitz? Is that what it's called? Well, that Midway's
There was
That was
NFL
Midway.
Blitz.
That's
I don't know
Midway.
if
That-
NFL Blitz.
NFL
what,
Blitz.
What was the NHL? What was the NHL?
NHL
like,
Hits.
NHL hits.
Hit, yes.
It was NHL
Dude,
Hits. Yeah.
Did you ever play the GameCube one where you could play as a Raptor? That shit ruled. Like I'm
You
surprised.
know,
Like
Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey, where if you made enough saves,
Fuck
your
that
goalie
game.
turned into
Fuck
a
that
little
game.
brick wall.
Fuck that game. Fuck Wayne Gretzky's hockey
Oh, we
on
played
N64.
the charity
Yes,
event
we did.
last year,
Yo,
didn't
I
we?
told Derek to add NBA Jam. You guys are not ready. You guys
No,
are not
we
ready.
like everybody loves NBA Jam. I think it's like that was a universal game in everybody's house.
that's
was
what bring
fucking
it- you gotta bring
NBA
it back.
Jam.
They gotta bring
He's
it back. I
heating
don't-
up.
You know,
Yeah, there we go.
you know what? You know what I think would be really cool. Like I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy, but it would. I think people would love it if they made a new Mortal Kombat game in the style of 1 through 3 with like the digitized actors.
Have
Like
we read about like the developers like going through like watching like horrific like gore footage? Can you imagine them animating like realistic looking people, like real people?
well, no, that's what I mean. That's
getting
what
torn apart?
that's what they did in Mortal Kombat 1 through 3. I mean, there
Yeah.
were
Listen,
like that's
Yeah.
that's exactly how they made those games.
what
And
else? I'm trying to think, but like what other long?
Someone in chat, Cakesy, brought up a good point. Breath of the Wild style Zeldas. Like I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into it. Like you
he's
love
got-
it or
no,
you don't
but
like
he's
it.
got a point.
But yeah, Zelda, like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like obviously they're acclaimed, people love them, but a lot of people love the traditional. I know Justin especially misses traditional Zelda,
I
and
do
that
too.
series is big enough to do support. And I know we got the
Link's
what was
Awakening
the
remake.
Switch remake, like Link's Awakening
Yeah.
remake, but like again,
Yeah, there's
like
no
same
Ocarina level of like.
production, like
There's
mainline.
not,
Like, give
yeah.
us like another Twilight Princess style.
Well,
like,
and the thing is,
traditional
Jeff,
Zelda game.
I absolutely think the next 3D Zelda game is going to be a little more traditional. I absolutely believe
Yeah.
that because I mean, like, what else can you do at this point? And I don't think
That's
like
true.
and I'll be honest with you, like, I still have not finished Tears of the Kingdom. I'm 80 hours in. I had to take a break because I was getting burned out. Because like, here's the thing, like, I put like 300 hours into Breath of the Wild. This feels like more Breath of the Wild. It's better, but it feels like more Breath of the Wild. I'm ready for like CJ said, Ocarina of Time style Zelda, where there's there's a big open area to gallop through, but I've got 8 dungeons in the end of the game, and that's it. And staying on like the whole Zelda trip, like I think it's like obviously I'm super excited about Super Mario Wonder. I think it's awesome that we're finally getting
been like
Yeah.
years ago.
new 2D, right? Because like this is the first new 2D Mario in like what 12 years or some shit.
Are you
like-
forgetting about new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe?
No.
Deluxe Redux.
No, I mean like the
Five
first.
stars, the acronym.
Well, I mean like the first new 2D Super
Yeah, I
Mario
know.
Brothers. It's time for a new 2D Zelda, like a new one, not a remake. Like I know everybody wants remakes of the
like,
Oracle
what's the one-
games.
what's the
but-
what's the one from the 3DS? Like the last original like 2D.
A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, like that
Yeah.
level of like.
Great fucking game, but it is.
I mean,
But it's time
Sorry,
for a
go
new. It's. I was gonna say. I know everybody's like. Oh, we need Oracle remakes. I'm like, you know what? No, like let's get a new 2D Zelda. And I feel like next year's hopefully they'll do something like that. But
Ooh, here's out of left field. Here's an out of left field one. A new top-down GTA game. You guys ever play Chinatown Wars on DS?
CJ,
hmm,
CJ,
I
we're
did
the-
play the original
person-
GTAs.
Hold on,
I
we're the
do
same-
remember that.
Chinatown Wars. You ever played
We're the
Chinatown
same-
Wars?
we're the same fucking person because when I like when you guys were talking about when I started this topic, when you guys were going over your games, I was looking at like popular video game franchises, trying to think of it, and I saw GTA, and I was like, the one thing nobody wants, another top-down
No,
Grand Theft
dude,
Auto.
okay. Well, two things with that. Jeff, fuck you.
Wow, this got
I
mean.
played the shit out of
Chinatown Wars.
GTA 2, man. It fucking
Yo,
sucks. You can't see where you're driving.
Chinatown Wars is a top 3 in the series. 100%.
You would elaborate on that because it doesn't sound too great just with no context.
You guys ever play Chinatown Wars on DS?
No.
I didn't play
That was a-
Chinatown Wars, no.
So it was a top-down GTA game set in like GTA 4's version of Liberty City. And it was great. Like there was a lot of variety. There's a lot of man, that introduced fucking drug dealing into the series. Shit was sick. I had it on PSP.
CJ's like, man, I love dealing drugs in video
on my
games.
phone was the sickest thing in the entire world. Go and clip that. No, but that like I would like to see that, or at least bring back Chinatown Wars on Switch. Considering it's like we already got Red Dead 1 on there. Anyway, fuck you guys.
You know,
I was, like,
here's
really
what we need,
excited for that.
CJ. Here's what we need, CJ. We need Naughty Dog to put Uncharted away. Stop
Last
doing
of Us away.
Jack and Daxter.
1
Yes.
is the game.
Yes.
Bring
Yeah.
back Jack and
Yes.
Daxter. No, hold up.
Not
Even
Jack
more
3,
egregious.
Jack 1.
yeah.
Jack 1.
Yeah.
No, even more egregious. Sucker Punch. Infamous is whatever. Ghost of Tsushima, more like mid of Tsushima. You know what you gotta bring back? You gotta bring back fucking Sly Cooper, baby. We need
Oh,
Sly
I can't
Cooper.
believe
Dude,
that hasn't happened.
The early PS2 platformer just hits different. Like,
100. Don't like the way you said that.
We also, you know what we need? We need a new fucking
We brought
Klonoa.
back Pac-Man
We need
World.
a
brought
brand-
back some-
We need a brand new Klonoa.
Yeah.
Brand new
Yeah.
fucking Klonoa. Like, but dude, if Naughty Dog could just do a new, like, just Jack
A
and
good game.
Daxter.
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
oh, okay, CJ, we're getting a little spicy
no,
here,
100%.
but
100%.
I want a remake of that one Rugrats game that was really fun.
100%.
oh,
Anybody remember that?
Repto's Rage.
Does anybody remember that?
Repto's Rage.
Which one? Rugrats in Paris?
It's
Yeah.
Repto's
No,
Rage.
that's the movie. I think it
There
was.
was- there
Yeah,
was a
where you
game
go to
based
all
on
the
it.
different worlds and you have to like
Oh,
race
okay.
Angelica and shit.
What we need is a fucking high quality Garfield cart. Like put fucking Mario Kart money into that
No,
shit.
what we need is a Final Fantasy card that's not a fucking cash grab.
Put
What's-
Garfield in a Honda
what's
Civic,
funny, Britt, is
Type
that
R.
They actually got rid of all the gotcha shit. Did you see that?
Yeah, there's a new
Yeah.
version of it out.
But I think they're shutting the servers down, aren't they?
I don't think they're shutting the servers down, but like nobody's playing it. So like what's the point? But
Make a new Kingdom Hearts Square. But actually,
Let's
hold up.
play at your
HD
house. Let's play it at your
HD
house.
good
Okay.
point. What if,
2D.
what if a Kingdom Hearts game, but good? That could be
Alright.
that could be an
Jeff,
interesting.
Jeff, I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. I'm going to be in the same room as you. I am going to be drunk beyond my wildest like ability. You
I'm
do
going to
not
die.
want to
I'm
say
in
stupid
danger.
shit.
how about a
You are
fucking
in danger.
Capcom?
Hold up,
How about fucking
HD2D.
Power Stone?
Hold up,
Thank you.
HD2D Kingdom
Thank
Hearts.
you. That's
HD
king shit right there.
Fucking Power Stone, Capcom. What are we even talking about here?
Give us origin
Like,
stories. Like it doesn't even have to be like the main game. Like
oh,
give us a fucking origin story of the characters.
dude, fucking Onimusha. I want a new fucking Onimusha game. Onimusha was the shit.
Ooh, is that the one where you snuck around as a ninja?
No. So you're thinking of
Samurai game.
Tenchu.
It was like a Resident Evil.
Yeah, it was a Resident Evil style samurai game where you played as a guy named Samanosuke. And no, you're thinking of Tenchu, which was a ninja
Thank
game.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, that game was so fucking
Tenchu
hard.
was awesome though.
It was so hard.
What the fuck happened to Ninja Gaiden? What was
think
the-
And that
3DS,
dude left.
No,
What's his
Shino-
name left? He had to make more Dead or Alive bikini games.
Oh,
That's what he had to
you know what we
fucking
need?
do.
We need to bring fucking Scalebound back. Let's get fucking Scalebound back,
Look,
okay?
I said
Air
before,
Guys.
I'm gonna say
I keep trying to get
Guys.
John to get into
Abandoned.
Air Guys again, and
Air-
he won't do it.
Abandoned. We're gonna get it. It's gonna come out this year.
What we
It's gonna be
need-
my game of the year.
What we need is a remaster of Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasi. That's what we
Oh
need.
hell yeah, and we'll go to Evo with that shit.
But
Hell yeah.
I want to get on the
We need
fucking.
a-
I wanna get on the-
remake of the Xbox Obi-Wan game. That's what. That's what
What? There was
No,
an
no, no,
Obi-Wan
no, no.
game?
No. I
Obi-Wan
say
for
this.
Xbox.
Are you gonna
I
fucking
say
send it to
this.
me?
I say this totally without irony. Star
Okay.
Wars Super Bombad Racing 2.
Oh, on air, 100%.
I'm all over it.
100%.
I zero
Even
irony.
more racist Watto. Even more racist Watto. You're gonna put that in there.
It's
What is this?
It's an Obi-Wan game.
The
Oh, you
greatest
don't know.
box art of all time. Just a blurry fucking photo of Ewan
Of Ewan
McGregor.
Like, why does it look like fucking like he's evil? Like that looks
Because
like
he
neon
is.
green, like fucking alien shit.
Because
The
he is
Limp
evil.
Bizkit, like ass like cover.
All
Don't
right,
say
guys.
that about Ewan McGregor.
We are past our bedtime here, so it is
I'm
time.
drunk.
It's time to say goodnight. We are getting ever and ever closer to our annual charity fundraiser, which I think this year we are going to be supporting a really cool trans cause. I can't remember the name of it. Derek's got the details, but
They definitely deserve it from all the shit that's happened
They
this year.
do. They do. And we also just deserve to hang out with each other. So that's what.
Literally, like I told this to Justin the other day, is like everybody I've talked to has been like, I'm just fucking waiting out for this charity stream. Like that's what's keeping me going.
This
and
shit
I'm
is like this shit is like the highlight of my year.
Maybe
now.
we should meet up more than fucking once a year.
I mean, we absolutely fucking should, but I am like I have been looking forward to this for a year,
Jesus,
and
since like the end of the last one.
Yeah, and we always have. It's literally always the highlight of my year. And we're gonna be streaming some Rock Band on the Discord on Friday.
Wait, let me. I can plug. Hold on.
Oh, go ahead, Britt.
I can plug. Keep talking.
Britt's gonna plug this shit. We're gonna be streaming some Rock Band on the Discord on Friday, not next Friday, but the Friday after, and then we're gonna do our 12-hour charity stream on Saturday. We got a lot of cool shit lined up. We're gonna have a really good fucking time. We're gonna get fucking blitzed.
So
like
basically,
hammered.
like
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I don't think that I'm being a liar here when I say that most of the money that we get through Patreon and like any kind of subs or anything, essentially go towards this function.
Yeah.
Like, and occasionally we'll replace equipment and stuff, but like most of the time it's strictly for
the fundraiser
to fund this. To do the fundraiser. So it's not like y'all's money is going to greed. It's literally for us to help other people and raise awareness.
That's exactly what it is. Like, obviously, obviously we're still having a great fucking time together, but we would still do this even if we weren't together in the same room.
The charity last year's charity stream was to abortion because that's when Roe v. Wade
and
overturned.
with the rise in anti-trans sentiment across this country over the past year, we figured it was only right to raise some money and try to counter that, even if it's just a couple $1,000. It's every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. So that's what we're gonna do the week after next. I am super excited about it. I know everyone else here is too. We've got a lot of cool stuff lined up for you. I am now playing Front Mission 2 Remake for a review. Thank you, Forever Entertainment, for the code.
Oh, we finally got it?
Yep, we did. So I'm gonna actually dive into that as soon as we're off the air here until I fall asleep. And if nobody has anything else,
I do.
You do.
I do. Shout out to Derek for like basically like putting the shit together. Like he's literally doing everything.
He's a fucking he's a horse. He's
a madman, especially with whatever's going on with him. If you don't know, you don't know. But I mean, he's just chugging through, and I'm so proud of him, and I love him so much.
I'm proud of him too. I'm in fucking awe of that man.
Incredible.
To be honest with you,
love him. I'm fucking. I can't wait to see him. I'm gonna give him the biggest hug.
But we will okay. And if there's nothing else, remember everyone that kindness costs nothing, and we will see you all next week. Stay classy, San Diego.
Stop.
It's too late.
No, we're still on air.